Hello, this is Silenced, and here today I'm going to be taking a look at the F7C Hornet and its different variants. The F7C line is Anvil Aerospace's civilian version from its proven F7A military variant. The Hornet is one of the greatest fighter ships in UEE's history, and the Hornet has logged more combat time, more kills, and more theaters than any ship in history. So Anvil Aerospace is proud to bring this line to the masses, and once you get your hands on it, you'll be able to take on whatever the galaxy throws at you. Enough of all that, let's take a look at some specs. The F7C line has 1 TR4 primary engines, 8 TR2 maneuvering thrusters, with a power plant max size of 3 with the exception of the F7CM, which has a max of 4. For hardpoints, the F7C has 2 Class 2s, 2 Class 3s, 2 Class 4s, and a shield max size of 4. Each variant has its own additional equipment, which I'll explain with every ship. So let's go ahead and look at all these ships, and let's start the show. The first Hornet we're going to be looking at is the base model F7C. What sets it apart from the rest of the variants is that it comes installed with a cargo replacement equipment, which takes up one of the Class 4 hardpoints. This allows the base model to carry up to 16 freight units, but prevents a ball turret to be installed unless you remove the cargo replacement from the hardpoint. So let's take a look around the ship. Now before I do that, let me add something to this. The base model can be upgraded to other variants except for the Super Hornet, because the Super Hornet uses an entirely different hull that's unique than the rest of the F7C variants. So for example, you can buy the base and upgrade it to the F7CS, which is the Hornet Ghost. Or you can have the base and upgrade to the F7CR. Those are perfectly alright. So let's go ahead and have a look around the ship. As we walk around the ship, you can see that it is has a greenish color sorts. And here is their weapons on the side. The wings actually tuck in once it's landed. And here's the underbelly. And the thrusters on there. This is the main thruster. And that's a good look around. So let's go ahead and go to the top of the ship. Here's the top of the F7C base model, which comes installed with the cargo replacement. The cargo replacement has the ability to give you up to 16 freight units of cargo space. Now the cargo replacement takes the slot of the ball turret, so if you wanted to have the extra firepower, you still do have your canard, which is a gimbal mount located below the cockpit, which can hold a size 1 weapon. The ball turret holds a size 2, and you can switch the cargo replacement for the ball turret. Here's a look at the cockpit. Here's the rear of the Hornet, and you can see the engine assembly on top. Now let's go into the cockpit and check out the starting sequence and its takeoff and landing.
Landing request approved. Landing complete. Take autopilot fleet. Anvil Aerospace. All systems online. Takeoff complete. Weapon mode engaged. Landing mode engaged. Landing request approved. Landing gear deployed.
Let's go ahead now and check out the F7CS Ghost. Now here is the F7C-S Hornet Ghost. The Ghost's primary focus is infiltration. How it performs, this is through a combination of low emission drives, low draw weapons, and void armor technology capable of diffusing scans. So if you like to run stealthy through lawless space, the outer edges of the galaxy, or slip past something, this ship is for you. Now in terms of specs, everything's the same as the base model with the exception of its equipment. The cargo replacement on the Class 4 hardpoint is an available option, but is not included when you buy the ship. The additional equipment that is included with the Ghost is the Velvet Glove sheer steel armor refit. So let's go ahead and go around and have a look at this ship. Here's a look at the ship, and here is the front of the Ghost. Now there isn't any change from the base model in terms of looks. And here's a look at the intake. And Class 2 hardpoint with its size 2 Badgers attached to it. Here's a look of the main thrusters, and it doesn't appear to be any changes on it despite low emissions from the Ghost generates. Look at the underbelly of the Hornet shield emitter, and it has additional intakes that the base model does not have. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the ship. Alright, here's the top view. Now the ball turret position is an open slot in this model. You can add in the ball turret, the cargo replacement, the choice is yours. The canard is also a available slot to add in additional weaponry. Just remember this is an additional cost to you as you need to supply these items. They are not included when you purchase the ship. You can take the base model and upgrade to the Ghost, which will bring in the cargo replacement from the base model. With that, let's go inside the cockpit and see what makes a Ghost so special. Now that we're inside the cockpit, take notice of the EM and IR you see here. On idle, we get about 139 for EM and 219 for IR. This is much lower than just about every other ship in the game except for the Aegis Dynamics Avenger. While we start to move, that goes up ever so slightly, but goes back down once we're in full motion. So let's come to a complete stop and shut down everything. As I shut down each system, it lowers your signature, so if you need your Hornet to be extra stealthy, don't hesitate to turn off a few systems. This is pretty much for the later game when PU comes out, so it might not be a good idea in Arena Commander. This will really show its colors when the ambience for each signature is much higher than what you're producing on your ship. When this happens, you are truly hidden from radar. So let's take a look at the Hornet tracker now. Here's a look at the F7C Hornet tracker. The Hornet tracker's primary focus is scout/command and control. The tracker's made to seek out just about anything with advanced radar. This is beneficial if you work with deep space explorers or need a mobile CNC to assist your team by providing accurate readings. In terms of specs, the tracker is the same as the previous variants, but puts the advanced radar package where the turret ball goes. So let's go ahead and take a look around the ship. Here's the front of the tracker. As you can see, the inside of its nose is slightly different from the rest of the other ships. The bottom of the ship has a radar sensor attached to it, made so that it can get the deepest scans and the accuracy out of it. There isn't any more noteworthy features on the ship because everything around it is pretty much the same as the previous variants shown, so let's go ahead and check on top of the ship now. The tracker comes equipped with its radar replacement located here on the ball turret position. The canard and the two Class 3 positions, which is located on the waist of the ship, are open slots. So let's finally take a look at the Super Hornet now. We are back, and here's a look at the F7CM Super Hornet. The Super Hornet's primary focus is space superiority. However, like all F7C variants, this particular model is designed for civilian use. Anvil Aerospace claims it is the closest to the military loadout as legally possible for a civilian model. Now, compared to the other Hornet variants, the Super Hornet has been lengthened to an additional 1.5 meters, giving it a total of 24 meters in length. The reason for this I'll explain in a moment. Max power plant size is a size 4, which is similar to the UEE's military variant, the F7A. The Class 4 hardpoint weaponry found on the Super Hornet is exactly the same as the F7A, and this is where the similarities ends when comparing the Super Hornet and the UEE's own F7A. Everything else is exactly identical to all other civilian variants when talking about the rest of the ship's stats. Now let's go back to see why it was lengthened 1.5 meters, and that's because the Super Hornet can accommodate 1 additional crew member. This design splits the logistics and combat duty between the crew members. So let's have a look around the Super Hornet. Unlike the previous variants of the F7C, this particular model comes installed with canard weaponry. It also has its hardpoint slots filled, unlike the others. Here's a look underneath. The Super Hornet comes with M4A laser cannons on the Class 2 hardpoints compared to the Badgers. A look at the engine, which includes the same ones as the Tracker and the base model. So let's go and look at the top of the Super Hornet now. Now, compared to the rest of the F7C variants, the Super Hornet comes installed with a ball turret. Let's continue checking the rest of the ship. Looking at the cockpit, you can see this area was lengthened compared to the rest of the ship. As you can see, the Hornet has 2 seats, and each seat can control the ship, as you can see with the stick and throttle here. Combat duty is assigned to the most forward seat, while logistics is assigned to the back. Let's check out how it feels when flying. Here's what you get in terms of view inside the Super Hornet cockpit. Now let's check out the startup and how the ship performs in space.
Landing request approved. Landing complete. Autopilot. Anvil Aerospace.
The Super Hornet has a top speed of 200 meters a second. Reaching to full speed doesn't seem to take that long at all. From my point of view, the controls feel a tad stiff, which seems to be a trait with all Super Hornets to me personally. Now, moving the Super Hornet around aggressively, the signature reaches as high as 340 EM and roughly 744 for IR. This lowers to 319 for EM and about 462 for IR when just cruising. That's all there is for the Super Hornet. I hope you at least enjoyed looking at all the Hornet variants. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the verse.